the world's greatest podcast in America, John Reed, Cody McClure. Cody, how is Knoxville, Tennessee?
Howdy, John. Good to see you today. Knoxville's good. Hope you're good. I feel like I haven't seen you in about 12 hours or so since yesterday. I don't know what time it is. Probably about 12 hours. That's probably about right. No, that'd be more like 24 hours, maybe 20, maybe 20 hours. Doesn't
Yeah.
matter. I'm doing okay. It's a nice Sunday here in our fair city. Hot. I slept in today. Finally got to catch up on a little bit of sleep. I've been I've been running and gunning ever since I got here. I hadn't really had a moment to stop and do anything. I've been so busy with everything. So it was nice to at least get a good night's sleep in last night.
We are currently recording this at 3:09 Eastern. And no, we were not together at 3 a.m. So it would not be 12 hours. But yes, it was about 7 o'clock. So 20 hours seems about right. At some point, I want a tour of the new facility to see what it looks like. That way I don't have to actually come down there and look around myself and impose on your space. But I will say, it looks good just from what I can see right here. The lights are on. It looks like you got a nice little chair to do this in. Looks like
Yeah.
you got a little setup here now.
Well, it's coming along. I got me a little kitchenette kind of thing set up over here. It's just a lot of work. I had a lot of stuff to move and arrange and just hadn't had the time. I mean, where's the time go? I thought doing a show from 7 to 10 every day, my days would be a little more free, but I've been staying busy with all kinds of stuff. So I'm still getting everything arranged, but I've at least got a recliner and a bed set up, and I got my TV here on my TV stand, watching Priscilla Alvarez, CNN correspondent. I noticed when we started the podcast, you were watching the same thing because I could hear the audio that was coming from my TV, and I could hear it in the background on your TV too.
Yeah, it's so funny that you know everyone's names. The only person that I've seen so far today on this, 10 minutes of coverage I've been watching is Wolf Blitzer. He's the only person I know's face and voice. The rest of them, I have no clue. Obviously, I know what Don Lemon looks like. I know Anderson Cooper. Neither one of them are on the coverage. I know some news people, but yeah, Wolf is the only person I've known so far on the CNN coverage. We're about an hour into the announcement that Joe Biden, the president, or at least the figurehead of the United States, he has said he will not seek re-election. I've been telling you, Cody, it's like a coaching search. It was like a coaching search when you know the coach is getting fired. They kept trying to lie over the last couple of weeks, act like nothing was happening, but here it is today. Joe Biden out as president, at least the presidential nominee.
Yep, you were right about that. They did push him out. They finally got him. Pelosi and Schumer were making a push. They said Obama was working behind the scenes.
It seemed like every single person you've ever heard of that is a Democrat that is still somewhat relevant. Everyone, hell, even George Clooney was out against Joe Biden. Like everyone had abandoned him. No one was in his corner.
I wonder how Robert De Niro felt. I wonder if he thought Biden was too old to do the job as someone who's older than Joe Biden, or about the same age, at least.
I would imagine Robert De Niro looks at him and says, "At least I'm better." If you're that age and you're famous, you probably have spent the last couple of weeks asking everyone in your life, "Am I that bad? Like, am I this way?
Do you think
am I so
Biden?
decrepit?"
You think Biden has been asking? Do you think behind the scenes, Biden just sitting at home? Do you think they talk about it? You think he's gone to Jill and asked her like, "What are people saying about me?" And I mean, is he self aware, or is he even aware of his surroundings? I mean, I don't know
Honestly, that would make me pretty sad.
that it's making him sad.
Yeah, I mean, just because I've never gotten old, to that level.
Not yet.
Honestly, I don't think I've really experienced anybody in my life getting that old, for the most part. Like, I mean, my grandparents were already pretty old before they all died. I mean, but they were all already kind of old.
You didn't watch them get old.
Yeah, not really. I mean, no, yeah, like and my parents weren't that age. My mom's not there yet. So, I mean, she's still very active and with it. I mean, you know, I guess it's beautiful in a way that you get more time with people, and you can. That means you've had a long time, with them, seeing all the years and seeing them decline and all that. But like it just, I mean, no one should be doing this at the age of 80. I mean, like, it's a stressful job. It's the probably, everyone says the most stressful job in the world, or at least the country, when you see the way people age. But like, I hope that he doesn't sit around and like ask Jill, like, do I still have it? Am I a moron? Or just be like, oh, I'm so confused. I actually don't know where I'm at. It's like, oh, this is terrible. And like, they're just kind of making him do it, because it seems like that's kind of what happened in 2020, was just like everyone kind of made him do it.
They didn't have another option.
Yeah, and then like everyone wanted him to be the one that could go and beat Trump, and he had enough name recognition. If you did like Barack Obama, he was a connection there, and yeah, all the other candidates in 2020 outside of Bernie, who they were never going to let win. I mean, nobody else even had a chance. No one else had even a little bit of a following. So,
well, and you would think that they knew that then, and that they might have a better plan 4 years later.
Oh, see, that's what's been crazy. Yeah, that's what's been crazy. Sorry to cut you off, but like at the time, it seemed like that would be the obvious strategy. Is like, hey, you beat Trump, and then yeah, we'll take these 3 years and we'll set up a succession plan. It never it never seemed like we were going to try to do 8 years of this as a country. Like, it's crazy that he was old in 2020 and he still, was the best option until a month ago. I mean, it was 3 weeks ago where we came together as a country and said, what? Like, them running him out there for that debate, I told you, seemed like a hit job. It seemed like people around him knew like that was the only way to shift the narrative to get him to step down. And I really think, and I thought at the time, they were sending him out there just to be a sacrificial lamb, basically to embarrass himself. And that's what got the ball rolling. And here we are 3 weeks later.
Well, it's just crazy to me that with all the power that these political parties have, I mean, the Democratic Party, for them to just not have a better plan for them, because they knew he was old in 2020. I mean, there were people that were saying Biden was not unfit, that he was unfit even 4 years ago. And, you go back and look at those interviews now compared to today, you see how much better he actually was back then than he is now. I mean, it's just, like you said, I mean, it's unfeasible to think that there would have been 8 years. So I don't know how they didn't have a plan in place to have someone that could actually run against Trump.
Now, CNN's reporting that he has endorsed Kamala.
Yeah.
I didn't see him endorse Kamala in his statement. So, like, where has he endorsed Kamala? Do you know?
Well, I guess he came out and did it after the statement, because I first turned on Fox News and they were reporting that he did not endorse Kamala. And then I flipped it over to CNN and it said that he had endorsed her. So I guess he did it a little bit later after the first statement.
I haven't seen the actual endorsement. It seems like something that he wouldn't do, but they have now kind of forced him to do. But I don't know, like, I don't like Kamala. I don't think anybody likes Kamala.
No, she's going to get beat worse. They
asked... he's not going to get beat worse. She's not going to get beat worse, in my opinion, because like, well, I mean, I just think Biden, the polls had absolutely, like, Biden had been just getting absolutely hammered in. Like, she'll close the gap a little bit. I don't think she'll win, but I don't think she'll get. Biden was headed for a landslide, which is why they pulled the plug on him. Like, no one could. Yeah, like no one could consciously go in there and vote for him. So, like, I don't think she'll win, but she won't get beat worse than Biden.
Well, Trump has already come out and said that he says Kamala Harris will be easier to beat than Biden even. So Caitlin Collins called him up, and that's his first statement, is that he thinks Kamala will be even easier to beat than Biden. So,
now at least it's on. Now at least it'll be on. Like, there'll be some fire again. Like, if you are interested in the content side of it, like, the Biden stuff to me was always felt gross, and the debate felt gross. So, like, if we actually get a debate between Kamala and Trump, at least now the content will start flowing.
Well, the content has been flowing the last month. Like, this had been a pretty quiet election season up until the debate, really. And then you had the debate, and the big topic was, oh my God, Biden's terrible. They got to get rid of him. And then Trump got shot. So like now, the content is top notch. Now we're really getting heated up. And also, sometime around the corner here, you're going to have the Trump sentencing thing, and I don't know how that's all going to work out. I think they pushed that back to September, but he's still got that trial thing he's dealing with. So there's going to be sentencing in that, and I don't know what that'll entail.
Biden just needs to go out pardoning him and pardoning Hunter and just going out with a big fuck you to the Democrats on the way out. That'd be nice. Just actually, he's like, I don't endorse Kamala. Actually, Trump, he's not that bad of a guy.
Well, Trump, I mean, he's that whole RNC thing. I mean, did you watch that speech that he gave at the convention?
No, I didn't. But the takes I saw were people saying it wasn't very good.
Well, I mean, the convention was a circus.
Well, no, they're saying like Trump's actual speech wasn't very good, and that he seemed to be rambling on, and that a lot of people have been like, hey, it's not fair what they're doing to Biden because look, here's Trump falling asleep 5 times at the convention, and here's him, stumbling on his words, and here's his speech not very good. And maybe now that Biden's gone, now Trump looks like the old man. Because, I will say, it's never made sense to me. I understand, like, hey, we have to do this because everyone else sucks. But, just from an ideological standpoint, the Democrats should be like the young party, in my opinion, because that's what they're trying to do, right? They're trying to change things, and the Republicans are conservative and trying to, keep things the way they are and whatnot. But an 80-year-old white guy being the face of the Democratic Party always seemed a little weird to me, anyways.
Yeah, what you need is a 50-year-old white guy.
Yeah, or a 50-year-old black woman, I guess, if you're Kamala. But it just seems strange. I don't know. So go ahead. What were you going to say about Trump at the RNC?
I like the idea of a female president. I mean, don't get me wrong, but don't you think that the country wants a strong man? Like isn't a strong man going to? I mean, a man is going to poll better generally.
Well, I mean, yeah. There's a reason there's never been a woman win president.
Well, yeah. I mean, I'm just saying, Gavin Newsom. Like, if they want to find a guy who's young, I mean, he's a good-looking guy. He's now, I don't know how well he's done in California, but I mean, he's kind of that. He looks like a president. I mean, you can at least say that for him. He looks like a guy who could be president.
I don't know. It seems patronizing to me, like the way that this is now going to be Kamala, and they'll talk about the first female president, the first black female president, and all that, and it will make the Democrats feel good that does look progressive. But yeah, like you said, I think a man obviously has won so often. And look, I love women, so if you're a woman listening to this, I'm not saying women can't be presidents. I'm just saying
same.
Yeah, I'm just saying it probably needs to be.
I'm just saying, if you're trying to beat Trump, they already tried a woman.
Yeah,
they tried the most established woman there was.
Yeah.
I mean, nobody was more qualified than Hillary Clinton. She was Secretary of State. She was First Lady. She was Senator. She was with Bill for all those years. Nobody was more qualified from a political standpoint than Hillary, and she lost. So, I just don't see how Kamala is going to fare any better than that. But I'm interested to see what they do, though, because, Pelosi's pushing for an open convention.
Well, that's what I think it should be, but I don't think it will be. But that's what I would hope to see. And I've seen that's why people have been a little mad that we've waited so long. I know I keep saying we. I just mean we as a country. I'm not involved in this political party and trying to worry about who they necessarily nominate. But that's what people are mad about, is that we are so late into this process, and that it seems as if they're just going to appoint somebody versus letting everyone vote and actually have a little bit of a runoff.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I don't know what they're going to do, but it's going to be.
Who is this woman
exciting.
on CNN right now? Who is this?
That's Caitlin Collins.
Okay, she's cute. I like her.
Yeah. Well, she's kind of, I think she's cute, and a couple of guys in my chat think that she's cute, but other guys say she's kind of got a horse face. They don't think she's cute, so
Then
You
call
know,
me Toby Maguire because I would like to ride that sea biscuit.
oh, are you talking about Priscilla Alvarez or were you talking about?
Oh, no, I'm talking about Priscilla. Yeah.
Oh, okay. Well, when I looked at the TV, Caitlin Collins was on there. Some people
Oh,
say
you
she looks like a man.
are you watching on YouTube TV?
Yeah,
Oh, you might be on like a 10-second delay then.
yeah, I'm a little bit behind. I just saw Priscilla's live shot though.
Yeah, that's who I'm talking about. Everyone thinks she's hot, right?
I mean, it'd be hard to look at her and not think she's hot.
Well, that's what I was confused by. I was like, I don't see the horse face.
Well, wait
But the
until
other
you see
girl,
Caitlin
the other, no,
Collins.
I know the other girl you're talking about, the one that's the main. Yeah, her right there.
Yeah, some people think she's pretty, some people don't. I mean, people are
I
kind
don't.
of divided on her.
I don't find that to be a man face, or excuse me, a horse face. I'll say that she seems maybe just a little stern. A
She looks
little
like a
stern.
man, some people say.
Yeah, I won't say that, but she's definitely more masculine than Priscilla.
Yeah, I'm not saying that either. I mean, it's a rude thing to say about
Yeah,
a White House correspondent, but
she'd whip some ass. I'd like to have her on my side in a bar fight.
would you quit what you're doing right now to have Caitlin Collins' job?
No, no, I can't speak good enough to talk in front of a whole country. Like I could do these podcasts, I could do like radio, but like I stumble over my words too much and I mumble too much and get words mixed up. No, they'd have me tore up. They'd be roasting me all the time online. And
I just got off the phone with Trump, and he said he's going to whip Kamala's ass. That'd be you as a White House correspondent.
I mean, it'd be pretty good. People would like it. I mean, like if they were on that side, if I was doing it for Trump, the Trump people would probably like me.
The Trump speech the other night, I said the RNC speech was kind of a circus. Did you see all that with Kid Rock? And they had the Hulkster up there.
I saw
ripping his
Kid Rock
shirt.
did. Yeah, I saw he did American Badass and changed some words around. And I saw that Hulk Hogan was up there cutting a promo, which
Yeah.
then Trump was like blowing him kisses, which seemed weird. But
I mean, he tried to go straight. I mean, straight patriot on the speech, and but
I hate Hulk Hogan. I hate Hulk Hogan. I've always hated Hulk Hogan.
I've hated him since he blocked me on Twitter.
I hated him before then. I've always hated him ever since I was a kid. Like this guy sucks.
Yeah. Well,
now, if you're like 10 years older than me, you probably love Hulk Hogan because when you were a kid, you're probably like, this guy rocks. But not me. I think he sucks.
I was going to tell you the Trump speech drew 28.4 million viewers. So Trump's up there doing NFL numbers on his speeches.
Yeah, no, I mean every year this happens on election years. I mean, you'll see some NFL numbers go down probably in the fall as we get closer to the election. That always kind of happens. People kind of shift their focus away from entertainment and more so into a different type of entertainment, a political theater.
I mean,
instead,
some people totally hate politics and, and the first 18 minutes here we've done, some people are probably like, God, I wish these guys would stop talking about politics. But I do. I mean, I find it to be pretty interesting because I just watch it from an entertainment standpoint.
The world's greatest podcast in America. All they want to do is talk politics. They only give us one episode a week now, and they spent 20 minutes talking about Trump and Kamala Kopalama. What do they call her? Kamala? I don't know.
Kamala?
Well, there's a not slur. I'm about to say a slur. There's a bad.
Which one were you thinking of?
An insult, like they call her Cop Mala or something, because she's so like.
Oh yeah.
Wants people locked up. She's a big justice person, and
she was a DA.
Yeah. She's a cop basically. She's a Fed.
Yeah. I mean,
she was trying to do a whole like, oh, I used to love smoking weed to Tupac when I was in college, and everyone did the math. I was like, bitch, you were in college like 10 years before Tupac was even around. Like, what are you talking about?
Well, she put a bunch of dudes in in prison for weed.
Oh yeah, no, I know, and that's why everyone rebels against her whenever she tries to be the cool senator, the cool.
She's
politician.
trying to be like the cool black ant,
right? And everyone's like, no, yeah, and they're like, no, you're not. You've put so many black men behind bars for a long time over weed. Like you want more police enforcement. You want more of all this. Like so, yeah, like that. That's why I don't really think she has a chance.
Well, they're relying on her for the black vote, so. Good luck with that, I guess.
That's what I was saying, though. I think that's so patronizing. I think that's so patronizing just to be like, hey, here's a black person, go vote for me. That's why I think it's a terrible decision. And that's why I think it's patronizing to be like, hey, here's a woman. Here, women, make sure you vote for her. Because that's kind of what they did with Hillary. And that's kind of what Hillary was relying on. It's like, hey, all these women are going to vote for me. But a lot of women don't like Hillary. And, I imagine a lot of black people don't like Kamala. And a lot of women probably don't like Kamala. So, like I said, I just think it's patronizing.
Yeah, I mean, you're probably right, though, that she will do better than Biden because she'll get more of the women's vote. Because
she's alive. That's why she'll do better than Biden. She's alive.
Yeah. Well, and women don't like Trump. That's also pretty true. Like 2/3 of women will vote for the Democrat.
I don't know. I think conservative women really like Trump.
Yeah, but it's like
that's not the difference in the election.
A third of the
right.
Yeah, like even Biden would poll like 67% among women. Like the women really do not like Trump, according to these polls. I mean, I'm just regurgitating what I see on the TV, but that's what the polls say. I don't know if it's factual.
I think it depends on what type of woman it is.
Yeah. Well, it'd be nice if they could run a likable woman, like Sydney Sweeney. They could run her.
I don't think
everybody
she's 35.
Vote for her. No, and hopefully she never is. We need to keep her about 26 her whole life.
Those things are going to be dragging the ground here in 15 years or so.
Yeah. She's gonna end up like Pamela Anderson. She'll just be an old bimbo one of these days. But hey, strike while the iron's hot. That's what they say.
Well, Sydney at least has some talent acting. I don't think Pamela had anything else going for her besides like, hey, here are my looks.
Look at my titties.
Yeah.
And
I
also
don't think she
Tommy
was ever
Lee.
a good actress. Yeah, and Kid Rock. And
yeah.
She liked dating the weirdos. Like Sydney. Has Sydney ever even had like a public boyfriend? I don't know if she has.
I don't know. She's probably just got a regular type of guy.
This is the first time a U.S. president has dropped out of a re-election run in decades. Oh, okay. So President Lyndon Johnson decided against seeking his second full term in 1968.
They got a museum for Lyndon Johnson down there in Austin. The LBJ Presidential Museum.
Biden's decision comes months later in the campaign. So, now everyone's going to crush Biden on the way out for waiting so long. Is that a recliner? Okay, you're flexing a little bit. You got a little rocking chair action there?
Hell yeah, I do.
You should invite a woman over there and have her sit in your lap, and you just sit there and sway back and forth.
Well, whoever listens to this, ladies, there you go. There's your invite. Come on over whenever. I don't know. I got a lot of work to do around here. Still got a lot to do. I've been trying to figure out how to make my own iced coffee, and so I don't have to keep spending money on iced coffees. So I'm trying to figure out how to make my own.
Now, you've made the switch to McDonald's iced coffee. How much do those run you per?
Well, I'm back to Starbucks today, but those are only $2 for a large iced coffee.
Yeah, I feel like you left yours at the office last week and just left it sitting on the desk and left. I'm pretty sure.
You know what I'm drinking right now?
An iced coffee?
This is a brown sugar oat milk iced shaken espresso. I've gone full. Yeah.
Sounds very woman of you.
It is. I've gone full basic white bitch on my coffee. I used to drink black coffee, and as soon as I made the switch to iced coffee, now I just can't go back. I mean, I'll still drink a cup of coffee. Don't get me wrong. You hand me a cup of black coffee, I can drink it. But I've gone straight basic white girl on the Starbucks orders. It's gotten out of hand. So I've been watching YouTube videos trying to figure out how to make my own. And apparently what you do is you just brew your own coffee and refrigerate it. That's how you do it. Because, you wouldn't want to pour hot coffee over ice. You see what I'm saying? Because then you get melted down.
Sure.
Then you just get watered down ice, and then you got to put more ice.
You make coffee, put it in the fridge, and then, put cream and flavors in it, I guess.
Then you just put ice in a glass or whatever you're going to have it in, and you pour the cold coffee in, and then you pour in your half and half or whatever you want and stir it up.
Yeah, I know it's a dumb question. I don't drink coffee. What makes that white? Is it just creamer? Is it milk? Is it both? What is it?
What makes milk
white? Do people put milk in coffee? Is that dumb? Do people put milk in coffee?
Yeah, people put milk in coffee. You can put milk, or you can put half and half, or like I've
What
got
is half and
this.
half? What are the two ingredients in half and half? What are each half?
Well, I think it's half milk and half cream.
Oh, okay. Well, that makes sense.
It's just
Okay.
like it's coffee creamer. It's like
Okay. Okay.
yeah. But I've got this sugar-free French vanilla creamer that I've been using. So when I come in tomorrow, I'm gonna have. I'm gonna try to. My plan is to have my own home brew iced coffee, so that I don't spend the money at Starbucks or McDonald's.
Are you happy to be back in Knoxville?
Yeah, it's been good. It's been a lot of fun. We had fun yesterday. Well, we did a decent week of shows. Pretty good. I give the shows this past week a B, probably. Good radio shows. Hopefully, people that listen to the podcast also tuned in some to the radio shows. But I also feel like we've kind of got our own little sector here on the podcast too, of people that just kind of discovered us, like from YouTube or something. So
Yeah,
I don't
maybe.
know. I don't know exactly what the crossover is there, but probably mostly.
If you are someone who just found us on YouTube or through this podcast and hadn't listened to anything before this, I'd be interested to learn about that. So comment on the post and let me know, because I would be surprised if anybody really found us through this. I do think there might be some people that like this better than like the radio show. I wouldn't be surprised by that if they're like, hey, I prefer this format more. But I would be surprised if someone had found us through this. And I know we had the woman that's the female listener, shout out to her, that had posted that she listened with her husband or whatnot and liked the podcast.
Well,
but
she knew about the radio show, I think.
Well, that's what I was going to say. Yeah, I was going to say, like, I feel like that maybe it happened. Maybe this is more enjoyable for the wives or girlfriends that ride around with their men listening to this. Maybe they would prefer this because we talk about stuff that's not just sports. Although I know we talk a lot of non-sports stuff on the radio show too.
Well, I think there's at least a couple people that found us on YouTube, and by a couple I mean literally maybe two. So,
okay,
yeah, just trying to grow the numbers here. Please remember to like, subscribe, and come on my face. And so since I've been back, we did the radio shows. I thought they went pretty good. Other than that, I've just been playing video games, trying to move furniture, I've done a few Ubers. Friday night, I went out dancing with some Jewish people. That was fun.
Some Jewish women?
There were a couple of Jewish women, yeah, and also 3 or 4 Jewish men.
Did they have curly hair?
Well, they were very Jewish.
Did the women have curly hair?
One of the women had curly hair. The other
one
have
big naturals.
Yes. The other one had, I believe, she had maybe straightened her hair. It may have been naturally curly. I don't know, but we went in the karaoke bar, and we on Friday night, me and a couple of friends, and we noticed that there were quite a few Jews in the place there in the middle, like near the bar. Just an observation. I don't mean it in any negative connotation whatsoever. I'm just saying we noticed that there were 6 to 8 Jews, and we didn't know.
Did you guys comment to each other about this?
We did. Yes.
See, that's where it gets a little problematic.
Well, we didn't say. Well, it's like the Bill Burr bit. It's about how you say it. It's like if you just say there are quite a few Jews in this bar. That's just an observation, and that's what we said. Now, if you said, look at all these fucking Jews, that would be problematic. We didn't say that.
Well, I didn't say it was, you are right. The last thing there would be the most problematic of them all, but I think just conveying it to each other makes it a little problematic. You can notice something. You can make observations. It's okay if those thoughts come into your mind. It's just when you then verbalize them among people, that's when it becomes a slippery slope.
Even if it's a friend you're talking to?
I'm just saying, it's when it just starts becoming a slippery slope. You're still at the top of the slope, but the thing about a slope is that you start sliding. You see, that's why it's slippery. It's hard to stay at the top when it's slippery and you're on a slope. You start sliding down further and further.
I mean, you got a friend there. It's a close personal friend, guy you've known for years, and you just kind of elbow him and you say, quite a few Jews here, huh?
Now, what happens if he's like, yeah, let's go. Like, let's leave. Then what happens?
Well, then maybe you ask like why he wants to leave. It's like
right now that's how the slippery slope works. Now you're in a different conversation. See,
he's like, yeah, I did notice him. Let's get the fuck out of here.
Yeah,
Yeah.
exactly.
Yeah.
See that? Yeah.
Now I will say one friend may have made a comment about them shifting their shape. Someone did say something about they shifted their shape, but that was
rough night for the bartenders. Rough night for the bartenders. Make sure you leave a couple extra shekels.
Yeah.
I know how your crew gets down. I know what's happening there.
Another friend asked me how I knew they're Jewish, and I said, "Why don't you go throw a quarter down over there?" But look, I just these are jokes among friends, though. It's not like there was no it's not like we were inciting hate. We weren't saying, "Hey, let's go beat them up." You know what I mean? We were just joking around amongst friends, and they were having a good time. They were dancing, and we danced.
What'd you sing? What'd you sing?
Well, there were just karaoke songs.
Right? Did you sing? Did you get the mic?
No, I didn't sing. No, I got to be pretty drunk to do karaoke, which I have been before, but I wasn't quite drunk enough to do that. But you know how karaoke songs, "Roses" by Outkast, always popular. "Sweet Caroline," like there's, karaoke songs. I mean, "Drift Away." I don't know what are the best karaoke songs. Got to be sing-alongs, right?
Yeah, "Sweet Caroline's a good one.
Yeah, they did Rocky Top, like they did Rocky Top.
It's a
Knoxville bar.
I like throwing some boy band songs on there. You can go back to the NSYNC or the stuff from TRL in the '90s. Is always a nice hits because typically everyone that's in there is going to know those songs.
It hits like the crowd sings along.
Yeah. Like if you say "I Want It That Way" or something. I mean, the crowd. Likes that.
Yeah, that's another one. Yeah, a lot of people are doing that one.
Yeah, just plenty of the.
I want it that way.
Exactly.
Don't know why.
See, and then. Tell me why. Don't know why. It's tell me why.
Okay. Yeah. Anything with a good catchy chorus,
Yeah.
So that was fun Friday night. And then I was hungover, and then Saturday, which in the context of this podcast was yesterday, we had a very fun time over at Knox Esports in Cedar Bluff.
Credit to you. Thank you to everyone who helped make that a success. There might be a couple of World's Greatest Podcast in America listeners. I know there'll be some Talk Sports listeners that came through. It was a great time. Shout out to you guys. And I got to say, I don't want to say we made history, but like that probably was one of the first and biggest like NCAA 25 tournaments in the country, in the world, because the game just came out.
Yeah, I'd say it's a pretty good gathering of. 32 people playing in the tournament. Like,
$1,000 to the winner, but again, like it just came out worldwide on Friday. I know they had the early release, but I can't imagine there were too many big tournaments in person, in the middle of the week. So I would say we were one of the first in the entire world that did that.
It was a great turnout and a lot of fun. Just a fun thing to do on a Saturday. Just, walking around talking to all the guys there, and it was kind of cool. It had like a March Madness feel because like when you weren't playing, you could just walk around to the other TVs and see who's got a game going on, see how everybody else is doing. And I would say as a show, we fared very well. Talk Sports. We all won our first round matchup, and then I got my ass kicked, but I lost to another Talk Sports member. So, intern Jack advanced to the semifinals. You got to the quarterfinals, and then even Miles got to the semifinals. So as a show, I think we performed all around pretty well.
Well, we have 4.5 people on the show. Matt, I count Matt as a half, maybe a full member. Miles is a half.
Oh, yeah, sorry. I forgot about Matt. Sorry, Matt.
Yeah.
I didn't even mention Matt, but he won too, didn't he?
Yeah, Matt, Matt won one round, and then the same guy that kicked my ass kicked Matt's ass even worse. So, like, we just drew a bad draw. Like, I think if I had Miles' draw, I would have been in the semifinals too.
Yeah, I had a tough draw too against Gen Z Jack.
Yeah, respectfully to Miles. I think if I had been in his draw, I would have made it to the semifinals, and probably the same as Jack if I got to play you in the second round. Like Boomer, who's a listener, like him and Jack played a classic game in the third round. Like that was anybody's game, and Jack kind of got lucky there, I think. So yeah, like it is very possible though. It is very possible that you and I have talked the most shit to each other. And, I've kicked your ass. I've embarrassed you a couple times. And, like, you're kind of middle of the road at best at this one. but it is very possible that you and I are the 4th and 5th best players on the game.
On the show.
Like, on our own station, yeah.
Yeah. I mean, that's what I'm saying. All the guys did well.
Out of 5 people, we might be the 4th and 5th best, which I would be the 4th, you would be the 5th. You might be the worst person on the show.
Yeah, I mean, perhaps. I mean, like I'd like to get a shot at Matt. And now I've beaten Miles a few times, so like.
Although I will say, when we get done with the podcast, I'm firing it up at home, and I'm going to get good with the good teams because I've had enough of playing with Tennessee. It's just a different weight class, and I honestly think that's why I lost in my game. Is I was Tennessee playing against Alabama, and the talent was just too much. I felt like Derek Dooley. I felt like Butch Jones or Jeremy Pruitt. Like, what am I supposed to do? I can scheme up things perfectly, but if my linebackers are not as fast as his quarterback, and my defensive end can't tackle the quarterback, and my running back with breakaway speeds getting hawked down by his linebackers, what the hell am I supposed to do?
It makes a big difference. And Ohio State is the best team on the game. And I had figured that out going in, and that my whole plan was to use them. And I let intern Jack get in my head because all week I was talking about how big of a deal home field advantage was. And I told him I'm picking home field. And he said, well, if you're picking home field, I'm taking your team. I was like, what the fuck, Jack? And so I could have just stuck with Ohio State, but I didn't. I said, I want to be home field. And that was my first mistake. And I took Texas, and he took my team, and he proceeded to beat my ass. But
yeah, I made a bad decision. I let a good player get Alabama, and I stuck with Tennessee, and I got my. It was fair. I mean, it was okay. I had a decent showing, but I mean, he was better. But also, like, the talent. So when I fire this up, when this is over, I'm going to get uploaded. I'm going to in the lab, and I'm going to get good with one of these top 4 or 5 teams on the game.
I'm going to take a break.
You're retiring. Yeah, you need to clear your mind. You need to have like a montage of you and all this self-doubt, like going out and finding yourself. You need to go sit in the woods somewhere and become one with the game. Maybe take a controller and just go sit in the woods and rediscover your love.
Yeah, I mean, I've been playing it too much the last week, and fucking Marcus is just addicted. It's like heroin to Marcus. I couldn't get out of there yesterday.
It's bad for your brand. I got to be honest. It's bad for your brand for you and Marcus to be attached at the hip. You guys are always with each other playing this game now. And I got to say,
that's not
true. We took a lot of pictures of you two standing next to each other, and from behind, it doesn't look flattering to either one of you.
He's gotten fatter, by the way.
I know. There's about, yesterday, the tournament's over. I'm waiting on you two to finish your fucking game so I can pack up my extra PlayStation I brought and go home. Which, by the way, you guys finishing that game cost me an extra 2 hours of my time there.
We left before you did. You were hanging out there.
I know, but I was originally getting ready to leave, and you guys are just like in the second quarter, so I was like, fuck, I'll let them finish. And I'm sitting there next to you, and I look over, and there's about 800 pounds of gamers sitting on that little love seat together. Both of you are taking up the full cushion. You're side by side. It smelled god awful over there. I don't know who.
Well, that's not me. All right.
I don't know. But that's my point though.
I know.
If you two,
I got you. Yeah.
If you two are going to run around, if you two are going to be side by side running around together at all times, you guys are going to start getting lumped into it together, and people are just going to be like, wow, those guys stink. That's what's going to happen.
Yeah.
And that's what happened.
Because nobody's going to know who's who. Like,
Yeah. Those big boys over there, they stink at the game and literally.
Well, I mean, I was going to leave after I lost to Jack, and Marcus said, let's play a friendly. I said, okay, we'll play a friendly. And then, so we ended up playing 3 games, and then Thomas wanted to play a game. And so I played him. So I ended up playing like 4 more games.
I think you played more than that.
At least I ended up playing at least 4 more after Jack. Maybe more than that. But great place over there, though. I got to say, Knox Esports. It was a great time, a great venue for gaming.
I couldn't believe you didn't ever get into the free drinks.
No, I just.
I mean, you were pounding the free soda. You were pounding the soda machine, but you never got into the free Miller Lite or White Claws.
Well, anybody who knows me knows that I don't drink unless I'm drinking. You know what I'm saying? So like if I was already hungover and it was early in the day, and so if I'd started drinking there, I would have had to have committed to drinking last night, and I had other shit I needed to do last night, so I didn't do it.
I sat there and I watched you guys finish your game. Then I got my stuff ready. Then the owner of Knox Esports came by and wanted, we were chatting about how successful it was. And then it starts absolutely pouring rain. I was like, oh, I'm not hauling all this shit out in the pouring rain. So I'm sitting there talking to all the video game guys, and they're telling me about all these video games. And I make a friend, and I asked him to show me Rocket League. So I'm sitting in there while he's kicking ass on Rocket League. And he was a magician. He was a magician on Rocket League. He was making the car flip, and he was scoring. He was like telling me he's like a top, couple thousand player in the world or whatever, which is pretty impressive. And I was like, well, I'm going to try to play. So we're talking about that, and we're just vibing. And yeah, next thing I knew, it was like fucking 8:30. I was like, I've been here for way too long.
And then he touched you on the thigh, and y'all were making out on the couch.
No, I gave him 4 free Miller Lights, though, so he was my buddy. Yeah. Nice. Those video game guys, they were so excited to see, some booze in there, and they just kept asking, can I have one? I was like, yeah, man, go ahead. Really? Yeah, go ahead.
Well, I will say I saw you pay out quicker than I've ever seen you pay anybody out. You pulled an envelope out of your pocket and just opened it up, $100 bills, and went over to the winner and said, "Here's your cash." That guy was I'm sure that guy was happy to receive that.
Yeah, I mean, shout out to Malik. He was a baller, but yeah, I mean, what was I going to do? Make him ask for it? I mean, I had the money.
I don't know. Anytime I try to get any money out of you, it's always a hassle.
Oh, well, first of all, that wasn't my money. I didn't put up the money. I mean, it was basically just everybody's money that entered for the tournament. So, I mean, that was your money, too, that he got.
Still hadn't seen my $25 in T-shirt money that I sold from those 5 T-shirts.
Well, yeah, you actually cost us money with the prints and, like, all the shipping and stuff. We actually lost money on your design because nobody bought them.
Yeah,
but, again, it took off interest what you owed me.
Sure. Well, we should at least be even by now. But, I mean, hopefully close to it. I was also going to tell you, Bruce Springsteen is now a billionaire. I don't know if you saw that story over the weekend.
I did see that. It didn't do much for me because I don't really care about Bruce Springsteen, but I know he was like his whole stuff was, I love America and I love the middle class and this is all about true America. So, I mean, it's a little weird that now he's like rich, right? Because, I mean, I feel like he was kind of anti-establishment and anti-elite for a long time, right? Is that not kind of his whole
I mean, he was a working class New Jersey guy. I mean, yeah.
It's good for him. I mean, it'd be nice to make $1 billion, but I'm just saying, I feel like his song was all about like anti-billionaires, anti-rich people.
There's a lot of stories like that about guys who are like, really prominent with the middle class, and they make a lot of money, and then they get a little bit too high on the horse, I guess. I mean, I don't know that Bruce is that kind of guy, but Jimmy Buffett. I mean, he seemed like a regular old working class type of dude, but he was worth $1 billion.
I don't know. I feel like Jimmy Buffett's whole thing is like, hey, I want to relax and chill and retire. Every day's a retirement. Now, maybe he was working really hard behind the scenes or something. I don't know, but he just wanted to live in paradise, man.
Shit, I'd just like to make $1 million.
He had 2 tickets to paradise. He was always thinking about that, and then he gets to cash in and, just sit out there and dig life on his boat.
I think you're thinking of Eddie Money, but nevertheless, wouldn't it be nice to just make $1 million as opposed to $1 billion?
I'd want to make $1 million at one time. Not
Lump
like
sum.
Spread out over a couple years. Yeah, like $1 million at one time would be cool. Otherwise, it ain't really going to do much for you.
Do you think you'll make $1 million in your life?
Yeah. I mean, like spread out over the years? Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, assuming I don't die.
Right. Well, if you saved every bit of it, you'd be a millionaire.
Oh, well, yeah, the thing is you have to pay to live. You can't just not eat and not do anything. Now, some people are just really, really cheap with their money and really, really good with it, but that's not me. That's not me.
You're not wired like those old men who drive the old Fords and eat beans in a can. And
I might try to be starting from now on for like 2 years. Maybe I'm just going to become really cheap and save all my nickels.
You should start eating beans out of a can.
Yeah.
I don't think you can do that for very long, though.
I can't do it. And also,
you'd be like I'm tired of eating these beans in a can.
Yeah, and also, I mean, like, no offense to you if you are somebody that's very frugal and thinks long term. That's just, I don't know, man. I'd rather enjoy my time when I'm still kind of enjoy it and spend some money now. And maybe I'm going to be miserable when I'm like 60 or 70. I'm like, oh, I'm still having to work and try to make stuff happen. But, like, maybe you're dead and never got to enjoy your money and time at all. So I just kind of want to enjoy my 30s.
And then who's the sucker? You save all this money up all your life for retirement, and then you die, and you don't
Yeah.
get to use it.
Yeah. Then your kids fight over it if you have kids.
Yeah. What good was making all the money if you weren't going to spend it?
Right.
I mean, there should probably be a balance.
Yeah.
You
Yeah. I
know.
think we're on the wrong side of the balance. Yeah. Like you and
Oh, I
I are
know I
probably.
am.
Well, I think you and I are both on the wrong side of the balance, but yeah, there should be a balance, but we need to probably shift hours, 45 points over or so.
Maybe spend half, save half. Maybe
Yeah,
that's
yeah.
the thing to do.
Yeah,
Yeah. I'm just trying to make a little.
yeah. You been out on the roads in Knoxville? You been driving?
Yeah, a little bit. Me and Marcus
wait.
were talking about that yesterday, just talking about, improving your life and things you need to do to get better. And Marcus is having some trouble. Not to put all his personal business out here, but he was having some trouble with some things too. He's got car problems, and we were just having a good heart-to-heart out there while you were in there. We were talking. Marcus was taking his government-mandated 15-minute smoke break, and we were out there talking about life and, just things to do to improve. And
So you went outside with him on his 15-minute smoke break to talk life with him?
yeah, just shooting the shit out there.
Yeah, you guys are getting too close. You need to step
We've
away.
always been close. I'm close with everybody.
I know, but you need to distance yourself a little bit.
It's hard once you get into that orbit.
Now that I'm partly management, I can't be as nice to everybody. I can't be everyone's friend anymore.
You should be. You should be nice.
I'm still nice, but I just can't be everybody's friend. I gotta keep a distance as I'm now above everybody else at the station.
That's no way to look at it.
Yeah, I gotta be able to make tough decisions.
You shouldn't view yourself that way. You should view us as everybody's equals.
Well, I mean, equals when we're off the clock, sure. But we can't be friends at work.
I have noticed the way you were bossing around Jack. I kind of felt bad for the kid.
When was I bossing around Jack?
Monday, you just giving him orders left and right. I was like, God damn, John's really taking a hold of the ropes here, hasn't he? Shit.
I'm trying to make sure everything's running smoothly. I got to make sure the place is running. We got a busy fall coming, man. Everybody needs to be on the same page.
In there with these poor kids. You over here. Oh, in the corner, motherfucker. Just in there like a drill sergeant.
Yeah.
It's like, I don't know if I can. I don't want to hear this. This is awkward.
Yeah. It creates for tough dynamics. You got to be able to be disliked.
I guess somebody's got to keep them in line. I like the vibe over there though, for the most part. I figured it would take me a little adjusting to try to just kind of learn the new studio, the new room, and but it's good. I'm liking it. It feels like we're in an actual office building, like we're in a proper business,
Yeah, I mean, it feels like we're a real company now.
Yeah.
So you're excited. You feel like you're a part of something now. Okay, good. Love to see.
Yeah, I mean, I'm fitting in. This was just welcome back week. We still got to hit our stride, but we will. It's been going good so far, I think.
Do you miss the podcast?
Yeah, I mean, the podcast, like, I could just kind of what I would do for the podcast is I would just collect stories all week, But now we talk about stuff on the radio, so maybe there's not going to be as much good, juicy stuff to talk about on the podcast. I just try to take my observations from my daily life and then make a note of them. And, I can interject this here. I maybe put this in headlines, put this on the podcast. Just try to keep it entertaining if possible. Not all of them are going to be 5-star hits. We just do our best.
Well, what story do you got for me now? Give me one more topic on the way out.
Well, I didn't really have another one. Oh, yeah, I did. Well, you might not be interested by this, but Clint Eastwood's longtime lover died. Did you see that?
Russell told me about it.
Okay.
But I didn't really look much into it. I know she was like mid-60s, and he's like 90-something.
Yeah, there's really not much to it other than she died, and it's kind of weird that Clint Eastwood outlived a woman in her 60s.
Yeah, when they probably got married when he was 70 and she was 40. And
did you know that Clint Eastwood had sex with the same broad that Al Pacino and Mick Jagger?
Yeah, that's That's what I was gonna say. That's what I said to Russell because I was like, I thought he was running around with those young girls. He's like, well, this girl was 60. I was like, no, I mean, I thought he was like banging like a 20-something-year-old a couple years ago.
Well,
The
there's
one
a
that like
young girl.
didn't Pacino get her pregnant, or did De Niro? Didn't De Niro get her
Yeah,
pregnant? And she had been with De Niro and
Pacino.
everybody. Okay.
Pacino. And I'm trying to think of the girl's name. She's 26, 27 years old, but her list of boyfriends include 95-year-old Clint Eastwood, 80-year-old Mick Jagger, and 83-year-old Al Pacino. I forget her name. Right? The name's on the tip of my tongue.
Nora Alfalfa.
I thought of
beat you to it.
I thought of it right when you Nora Alfalfa. Yeah, but she's a good-looking girl too. Like she's pretty, but like she is very, very clearly just a straight-up gold digger.
Yeah.
I mean, to be
or maybe she just has a type. Just probably need to be rich, but also just really old and talented.
If you had to rank those three in order of best case to worst case in being intimate with, how would you rank Pacino, Jagger, and Clint Eastwood?
I mean, it seems weird because I think you're fishing for me to say Jagger's number one just because you're a Rolling Stones fan.
I mean, him or Pacino.
I mean, Eastwood's by far last. I don't like
That's
Clint
what
Eastwood.
I was
Yeah, Clint Eastwood would not be fun to be intimate with. He just seems like he's disgusted all the time. He'd be making this face at you all the time.
Get off my bed.
Yeah, just be really,
Get
really
off
upset.
my bed and bring my oats.
Which is really weird because Nora Fala is not white. I don't know if you could tell that by the name, but Nora Fala is not a white girl.
She got a little Iranian or something in there, I think, but she's sexy.
Well, it's a little weird that Clint Eastwood would be laying with someone who's not white. He seems like he only likes whites.
Well, she's light complected at least.
Who would I rather bang between Pacino and Jagger, or at least be intimate with? I mean,
Pacino would be more vocal. Hooah! 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 That would get old.
He probably just grunts. I feel like he just kind of putters around grunting at this point.
But Jagger would be sliding all around on you like an old salamander. That'd be pretty gross too. You get like scales on you.
Yeah, I mean, I feel like Pacino's at least got a little girth to him these days, just physically. Not talking about his hog, but I just mean like he's like Jagger's like a 70-pound-year-old skeleton laying on top of you.
Yeah.
So I guess I'll go with Pacino over Jagger.
It'd be pretty.
Although
bad
Jagger on the tongue, who knows? Maybe he's down there, just able to. I know that's Gene Simmons, but
yeah,
maybe Jagger's.
You
got
like
some
my
moves.
Kiss shirt?
Yeah, maybe he's got some moves, but he's just he's too dainty. He's just 70 pounds. Just imagine his like hip bones like grinding into you. Like his whole body is just one big hip bone. Like his shoulder blades. It's just no thanks.
Or that's all three are gross to us, but to Nora Alfalfa, she's had all three men.
They probably were all three gross to her too. She probably hated it herself, but was like, "Hey, I got to do what I got to do."
I mean, it's big commitment on her part, but hopefully she's getting paid off at the end. So, Clint Eastwood's a lover.
She
back
on TV.
Yeah.
She is doing it for me.
Showing the letter on there again. Oh, I had a nice talk with Bob yesterday, too. I think
Did you
Bob...
guys squash your beef?
Well, me and Bob never had a beef. What are you talking about?
Oh. I guess it was just one-sided. I guess he had beef with you. Never mind.
I don't think Bob had beef with me. I think we were cool.
Oh, okay. Anyways, what did you guys talk about?
Well, we talked about the Howard Stern show, and I think Bob and I are going to try to do a pod here in the coming weeks, kind of next couple weeks or something, maybe next month. I don't know if it'll be a 37 Club thing or if it'll just be something we try to put out there in general. But I think
cool.
Bob and I are going to do a pod, and basically I'm going to interview Bob is what it's going to be. Because, like, we have this mutual, like, thing with the Howard Stern show. Bob created the Howard Stern show on TV. And so, like, I'm going to ask him all kinds of questions about the Howard Stern show. So if you have any interest in that at all, maybe people won't care about that. I think it's going to be interesting. And I think Bob's got a lot of interesting stuff to say about it. So just be looking out for that in the future.
TV time with Bob.
Yeah, it's basically going to be like a 60 Minutes interview. I'm going to be the Dan Rather in this situation, and Bob's going to be like the interesting guest,
I took you more as a Barbara Walters.
You would think it would be the other way around, where Bob would be like the professional interviewer.
Yeah.
And I'd be
no
like...
But no one would really want to interview you. You haven't really accomplished anything.
No, I mean, unless you want to know some wild, crazy stories about my super fun life.
Hey, here's the time that everyone got mad at me because I tweeted the fuck word at Sister Jean. Here's how I handled it.
Yeah. Let me tell you about that. Let me tell you about the time I got held at gunpoint.
Yeah, one time somebody put a gun in my chest and I started crying.
Let me tell you about the time that I hung out on the Sunset Strip with Bam Margera.
Yeah,
I got some fun stories.
Sure,
some fun stories. But yeah, I'm not like I'm not. They would run out pretty quick. But I think it'll be fun to talk with Bob about those years and his contributions. It was Bob's idea, and he said it to me. I was just.
It was Bob's idea. I don't believe that.
It was. He came up to me and asked. He said, "We need to pod."
He said, "Hey, will you interview me?"
Well, not like that. He didn't say it like that, but he came up to me.
Hey, man, I'd really like to do a podcast with you where I tell all these stories.
That's not exactly how he said it. That's just basically how it would be, though. And we basically did the podcast yesterday, just standing there talking about it, because I got all kinds of questions. And again, this may be something that it's just a niche of people that also like the Howard Stern show would want to know. But I think if you had any interest at all in radio, like the history of radio, and that kind of thing, I mean, Bob's big time in that regard. So be looking out for that in the next couple of weeks.
I'll be surprised if you guys actually do it.
Why would you be surprised?
I'll just be surprised if you take the initiative and get it done.
I'm taking all kinds of initiatives. I've got a lot of things lined up. I'm doing that with Bob. I've got a music thing lined up. Me and Bear are going to do at some point.
That sounds riveting.
Well, it's something different. It's something for... I mean, isn't that the whole idea, is to get different personalities together, kind of doing different things and
I'm with it. I'm with it. Well, you guys have been talking about that for 3 years, and I've yet to hear a single episode, though.
Well, I've been gone.
If only you could podcast while not in the same room with someone.
Well, the world's greatest podcast in America took precedent. Yeah. Bear had his own thing going on, but I'm looking forward to creating a lot of stuff with a lot of guys. Me and a lot of guys are going to create a lot of content together.
Okay. You can subscribe to Cody's OnlyFans by going to of.com/tons of fun.
There's probably somebody with that handle already.
I would imagine so.
Some big old boy. Big old fat boy.
Yeah.
Some big old girl, probably.
Yeah.
Big old heavy set, honey.
Well, I got nothing else for you. Oh, life's fine with me. I had nothing to complain about.
Okay.
Getting ready to play the video game.
I feel like we did okay here for this podcast. I feel like we had less to talk about because we've talked all week. Well, that's another reason the podcast was working good, is because we weren't talking as much, so we were catching up.
Obviously, yeah. And so I didn't know what was going on in your life either. I got a pretty good idea of what's going on in your life now.
So we're gonna have to really start mining for this podcast content, but we will.
Yeah, we're gonna have to work now. We're gonna have to actually do some stuff, but also it's off season and it's football season coming up, and this fall's just fun for everything.
Yeah, we'll come up with some things we can do, segment type stuff, and I don't know. I'll brainstorm.
Okay, I need to think of a new outro for this podcast, because at first, it was California Love. You're in California. Then it was a song from a Houston rapper I liked, a Texas rapper I liked when you were in Texas. And I didn't really change it when you're in Arkansas because I know it was only going to be 2 weeks.
You do that Tennessee song by Yellow Wolf.
What is that one?
You don't know that one?
Is it just called Tennessee?
Well, you'd have to look it up, yeah.
I like Yellow Wolf.
I mean, there's all kinds of Tennessee stuff you could do, but you want it to be like a hip-hop type of thing. So.
Yeah, I like the nice beats. I mean, there's plenty of Tennessee stuff. I'll find something.
You probably won't like something. Tennessee by Yellow Wolf.
I like Yellow Wolf.
You know Yellow Wolf?
Yeah.
You didn't know they had a song called Tennessee? Let's pack it up and move our life to Nashville. We can get a house and party in the streets or something. I don't know how it goes exactly, but something like that.
That doesn't sound like the type of Yellow Wolf I like.
Just look it up.
I like Daddy's Lambo. You ever listen to Daddy's Lambo by Yellow Wolf?
No. His father had a Lamborghini?
Oh, no, he was dating. He found him a girl he wanted to drive her daddy's Lambo. So basically he'd found him a girl in Beverly Hills or whatever, and he wanted to just go drive her daddy's Lambo. Like, basically, yeah.
Okay.
This girl wants a bad boy, blah, blah, blah. Yeah, and I'll show her. What about Pop the Trunk? You ever heard Pop the Trunk?
No, I've literally never heard anything else besides a song called Tennessee.
Oh, well, you're acting like you're like a big Yelawolf fan, and
no, I don't know shit about Yelawolf.
Okay, Trans Am's a good one too. I like that one.
Oh, what else has he got? Ford Fusion, Chevy Monte Carlo. I mean, how many car songs can one guy have?
That's
one
a good
wolf.
Point. That's a good point.
Yeah.
Okay. See you later.
All right. Have a good day.